Hello, my butterfly beauties, and welcome if you are new. My name is Charlen, and on this channel, we discuss everything beauty, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if you like my style, why don't you subscribe and you stay a while. In today's video, we are doing my weekly tray. It's been like a couple of weeks. I let the other one ride a little bit longer because I was enjoying the items in my basket for my makeup looks, and we're gonna switch everything out. So if you would like to see my thoughts on my last week's tray of makeup items and what I decided to pull for the next week or so, then just stay tuned. So a lot of the things some of the things I switched out and some of the things I decided to keep on. So one of the things I decided to switch out was this MAC. This is the matte deep golden skin finish in this shade here. And this one was one that I was utilizing as a bronzer. It worked, but it gave me more of that olive color than a deep golden color, so it was just okay. It wasn't like a love as far as a bronzer goes. So this one is something that I can actually like not keep. I'll give it another go in the summertime. We'll see. And the other item that I'm moving out is the Natasha the Denona face palette. This face palette, I did do a look with this one. And I think you guys could see it up on in my channel, but and that is why last time I didn't hold this all the way up and I forgot, and you see what happened. So this is why I told you guys that this one came to me loose in the pan, and now it's completely fell out and it is broken. And I'm not going to pick that up right now because it is over everything. But this is just a highlighter. The highlighter in here was just okay. And for me, the blush in here is a little light for my complexion. I love the shadows in here. But that is a bummer. Why would you do me like that? I knew better too, because I had been keeping this thing over it because this is supposed to help protect the creams and everything, but I kept it on here closed because I knew this came loose. Like when it came shipped to me, it came loose. And now, girl, now it's just gone. I'm not gonna put it back in there either. And because the highlighter in there to me, and I'll show you from just looking, just so you can see it, just from the remaining that's kind of in here, I'll give you an idea. It's not like the best highlighter to me anyways. Can you see that? It's kind of chunky. I don't care for it anyway. So this one is another one that, especially now that it's like, I just wish this was in the actual, because I got the mini love, right? This is the other one that I had pulled. And this are different. So it's not like they put the same shades from here in here, because this is a mini love and this is the love face. So they did put different shadows in here, but I wish they would have just came out with this in here, because I don't care for the blush in here. It's okay. It's just a little bit light for my complexion. And I'm not going to be able to get much use out of it in the summertime, because then it's not going to even work even more. So that's a bummer. Love the shadows in there for the eye look. And this one I enjoyed very much as well. So if you know me, you know I love my Natasha Denona. I also had in here my Hourglass Horse palette that's in this swan packaging. And I have been utilizing this quite a bit. Love it. I kept this one in my tray for continual use. But the other thing that I'm moving out is my Pat McGrath. This is the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad in Risque Rose. I did put together a look utilizing this one. I love this palette, you guys. It's beautiful. It's one I would highly recommend if she has it back online. Some of her items she puts online and then she'll take it off or whatever. So I like it a lot. And a couple of other palettes that I moved out, but I did enjoy. Ooh, I love the look that I created with this Ace Beauté palette. The Ace Beauté palette was gorgeous. The look I did with this one. So I'm super pleased with that one. I believe I stuck to these four here when I created the look, and it was beautiful. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'll probably pull this one back out again when we're coming back around to the fall, but love that palette. And the other one that I had was the Rotsa palette. Is that Rotsa or Rotsa? I'm thinking it's Rotsa. But this one here, loved it as well. Wore this a couple of times, enjoyed it. I think one set time I stayed on this side and other time I stayed on this side. Love the looks for each one of those. I did a look yesterday, you guys, utilizing some of the newer items I pulled for this time around. So let me go ahead and show you the clip, because it's not this look, because I was going to video this video yesterday and then I didn't get to it. So here we are, and I already did another look. So you'll get a two for today. I'll put both of them in here. So the first one will be the one of you actually see me applying the makeup, and then you'll see me do this look, and then I'll come back and tell you guys about the other items I pulled for this week's tray. So we started out with the Origins Utopia moisturizer, then went in with the Precisely My Brow shade number 5, and then the Urban Decay Original Primer Potion to prime my eyelids. And in today's look, we used the Leila eyeshadow palette. This is my second one of these. I love this palette, and we utilized those 3 shades right there. And so then I started out with that middle shade and blended that throughout my whole crease, and I just blowed it out on both sides and put it in my outer V as well, going back and forth, concentrating that up. And then I also went in with that darker shade, just concentrating that in my outer V only on both sides. So I'm just building it up to the intensity that I want it in, and I'm also moving that into my crease as well on both sides. And I'm using that Morphe 504 blending brush. I love this blending brush from Morphe. It does a good job, especially for my eyelids that I have. I have more space on the top, even though I kind of have a mono lid at the bottom. So now we're going to go in with that shimmer with my finger, and I'm just going to put that concentrated on towards my lash line and then blow it up into my crease to help diffuse it. And I'm then going to do that with the same on both other lid. And I'm also trying to put it as close as I can to my inner corner, and we'll come back and finish that up when we come back to our eyes. So just making sure both sides look good. And then I take that same blending brush I had before with no extra product and just kind of make sure everything's blended together. Now we're taking a Milk Hydro Grip primer on my face, and then we're going to use the MAC Match Master in the shade number 7.5 as my foundation. I normally use about like 2 to 4 pumps depending on what I feel like I need for that day. And we're just going to blend this all over. This is another Morphe it's a flat foundation brush, got a flat top to it. Now we're using a Charlotte Tilbury Air Flawless Finish powder in the shade number 2, concentrating that under my eyelid as well as my T-zone area. So I'm just pushing that powder in to my skin until I get it the way I want it. And then we're going to go in with my Hourglass face palette. This is that horse palette, and I'm going to use the bronzer out of there to bronze my skin. So I put it in my cheekbones of my face. Then I also carry it up and around my edges of my forehead into my hairline. And then I also blend that in under my chin. Now we're using that blush to also put on both of my cheeks, concentrating more so higher up, and then blending it down and into that bronzer that we just placed earlier. And then we are taking that a little bit onto my forehead and my nose as well. Now we're using that highlighter in there as well to finish off the look. So we're using a lot of the shades out of this palette. We're also going to put it in the bridge of my nose and in underneath my eyebrow as well. And now we're going back to that Lila palette to get some more of that shimmer, so that now we can add some more shimmer back to where some of that was taken away from the foundation when we was doing our foundation, to just really make that corner pop. And then we're going to use the Sephora Eye Kohl pencil in Intensely Black, and I'm going to use that as my eyeliner on the bottom and the top of my lashes. And I kind of also use this to wing it out a little bit on the top, just slightly, but I try to make sure I get a good even layer. And then we're using a YSL Volumizing Mascara on my top and bottom, the Espresso Lip Liner from NYX, and the Lush Gloss from Pat McGrath, and Divine Rose MAC Fix Plus. And that, you guys, is the look. Tell me what you think down below. Now on to the look of today. Welcome back to another makeup look of today. And in today's look, we started out with my Origins Utopia Moisturizer. We followed it up with my Precisely My Brow in the shade number 5 in my eyebrows. And then for my eye look today, we started out with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion to prime my lids. And in today's look, we are using the Ensley Rain Cosmetics. This is the Flutter palette. And in today's look, we are utilizing a blend of this shade here and this shade here throughout my crease. And then we deepen it up a little bit with this shade here in my outer V. And then we used this shimmer here on my lid. So these three in the corner here, and then this one here is what created today's look. And moving away from my eyes temporarily, for my base, we started out with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And then we use this Flesh foundation, and this one is in Hazelnut. So use Hazelnut. And then for my bronzer today, we are using this Huda Beauty Glowish. And this one is in the shade 11 Deep. So that is my bronzer for today. And my blush today is from the Horse palette, and we're using a combination of both of these blushes here on my cheek. So have those two on there. And my powders today, we use the Charlotte Tilbury Air Flawless Setting Powder in number 2. So that is on my T-zone. And the powder that is throughout my whole rest of my face is the Kosas Cloud Set in Pillowy. And going back to my eyes, we use the Sabbath Urban Decay eyeliner and the YSL Volumizing Mascara on my lids. And we set everything with the MAC setting spray from MAC Fix Plus. And this, you guys, this along with these two as my combination for my lip. This is Love Struck from Pat McGrath and Dose of Colors Messy Bun on my lips. And that, you guys, completed the makeup look of today. All right, it's time to change out our tray. I'm going to keep these items in there this time. And I do want to get another foundation because my other foundation is getting low. And I think the the one that I wanted to grab. I know for sure I want to try this one from Flesh. And I want to test this new shade out from Estee Lauder. So I'm going to put that here. Pull this celery. Let's try this bronzer. These are the new palettes I just got in from the last couple of boxes. I'm going to get this Galactic one. I've already pulled these two from my other section, so I want to get a couple of my All right, so some of the things that I pulled for this time around is I wanted to give this Flesh, Pure Flesh Foundation. This was a brand that I believe they had in, was it Sephora? I believe it was Sephora. It might have been Ulta, but I'm pretty sure it was Sephora. And then I think they don't even have it in there no more. But I had picked up this foundation at that time. And this one is, what is it, 30... looks like it's 33 hazelnut. That is what I'm actually wearing today on my face. So I wanted to give this one a go because I never wore this one. So I wanted to play with this one. And I actually pulled one of my double wears as well. This is 5 in 1.5 in maple. Because I normally use, like, I think 5 in 1 and 5W1 or 5W2. Like, I'll be in between shades. So when they release other shades, I wanted to try to see which one would be like the closest, especially for my winter time color and then my summertime color. So I wanted to give this one a go this week at least once. So those two. And then the bronzer I pulled this week was the Glowish from Huda Beauty. This is in 11 Deep Golden. 11 Deep Luminous is what they call this, their luminous powder. So this is what that one looks like. And I pulled the Danessa Myricks. This is her Yummy Skin blush. This is in Spice Latte. So Spice Latte looks like this. So I want to give this one a go. And the palettes I pulled this week, as you saw in the one, look, I used the Lila palette. So I'm bursting open my fresh and new Lila palette. So we utilize, I believe we utilize these here on the end for that look. But this is what we're going to be playing with this week. As well as this new one I got from, I think this was in my Ipsy. You guys, I decided not to do a full video on my Ipsys anymore because if you know anything about YouTube, if a video only gets but so many views on it, even though some of you guys may love those videos, if it's not getting the viewership, it would drag your channel down versus helping it. So I decided to start recording my Ipsy unboxing in shorts instead. So this was one of the ones you would have saw in my one of my last shorts regarding my Ipsy. And my other box came in like 2 weeks ago and I still haven't filmed it, so you guys can see what I had come in. So I'll make sure I get that one up as well. But that, and then we used it. I pulled this Natasha Denona Mini Nude. This is one of my all-time favorites. So that's what that one looks like. This one is a love. So we're going to use this one. And the other one that you see on my eyes today is this Ensley Rain Flutter palette. So this is what this one looks like. We're going to be playing with this one as well. All right. So that is everything that I pulled that is additional items that is going to be on my makeup tray for this week. What are you guys going to be utilizing and playing with for the next week or so? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.